It's December 2nd. I just got my new wetsuit. It's currently 41 degrees out. The water is supposedly 7 degrees Celsius, which translates to about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. My goal is to go out there for 45 minutes. I got my little device here so none of the boats hit me and they can see me clearly. I'm here with my buddy Matt. He's really thrilled to do this. My goal is to hit 45 minutes. I don't have anything on my feet, my hands, or my head. So that's the only thing I'm really worried about, but I'm assuming once I get going, I'll be fine. But we'll see how well this suit holds on.
We think that we're prepared because we have full wetsuits on. We just don't have any gloves or feet. We're gonna be okay though, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine.
I'm gonna be fine.
You're the one that's a little...
He's about the mentality, I'm about the prepared, like with the gear and stuff. So we'll see who lasts.
I'm gonna last.
I'm gonna last.
Yeah, I'm trying to swim. What? I'm going. You going that way? You're not even deep enough. Oh, fuck. Damn, that's so much colder than I expected. You'd be insane if you were. Okay, that was a lot worse than I expected. Once I went in, my hands, my feet, everything started freezing my head, and he was still going. I was surprised because he was hyping this up, making this seem like it's gonna be so much worse, and I'm like, bro, it's not gonna be that bad. But I was the one that pussied out the first time, but we're gonna try. There's a ship over there. We're gonna try and make it over there, and hopefully we can make it. But this was so much colder than I expected. Well, that was significantly worse than I expected. My head was by far the worst part about it. He made it all the way, which props to him. That's awesome, but like
all the way is a minute and 30 seconds.
Still, he made it, but like my hands and my feet were the coldest part. Well, not that actually, it was in my head. My head, like if I had something to cover my head up, I think I would have been able to make it, but like my head, it just massive brain freeze, but that was a lot colder than I expected. All right, we're trying this again because I did not make it as long as I thought. So I'm gonna try to make it, moving from 45 minutes to 1 minute. We're gonna see if we can make at least 1 minute here because I don't wanna be a bitch, and we're gonna try to make it at least a minute. I'm gonna maybe switch up my approach and maybe go slower. So just kind of ease my way in as opposed to just jumping straight in there and dying. So we'll see if that does any difference, but hopefully I can make it at least a minute. So Matt's an absolute animal. He just did this with no wetsuit, no protective gear on. I did it. Not very well. I feel like my legs are just sinking. I don't know if my wetsuit's too tight, but I feel like, or I'm just really cold. And then I kept my head above water this time, which helped a lot, but I felt water going into my suit, and it just felt like the back of my neck is what was getting really cold. But this was a lot colder than I expected. I'm freezing right now. Gonna go in the hot tub, but I like the suit. Suit's good. Keeps my body warm. Just everything else is cold. So, solid attempt. Now that I've had a few hours after my swim, I just wanted to come on and go over a couple things quickly. One thing that I realized kept happening when I first started was I was drifting to the right, so I'm not sure if that was from the suit or if it was just because I was doing 2 strokes whenever I would breathe, or I was just really cold. I don't know what it was, but I noticed I was drifting a lot to the right, so that's one thing that it's tough to tell how the suit actually fit, because that was the main purpose of this, because I was expecting to go out for a good period of time and clearly wasn't able to do that, and I wanted to be able to test out the suit, and unfortunately I wasn't really able to do that. So for the first one, my face just completely shocked once I hit the water and I was going to the right, so that I only lasted like 10 seconds on the first attempt. We came back out, waited a couple seconds, and then I actually knew what to expect when I got in there, so I figured it would be a little bit better. So I went back in, and same thing happened. I was still drifting to the right, and I'm not really sure why, but I figured once I was going to start swimming, everything would start to get warm up, and I think it was actually the opposite of that. Everything started to get colder the more I was moving my feet, and then moving on to the third one, this is where I really noticed that my feet were like going down, and it was really tough to kick. So I think it was just too cold to actually tell how this suit was, and also with me having my head out of the water, that's what I did on the last attempt, because it was just way too cold to put my head in the water. So I kept my head out of the water on the last attempt, and then I think that just led to me sinking a little bit on the end, like on my feet. So that was just a couple things that I noticed. It's tough to tell how the suit actually fit, because that was the main purpose of actually testing it out. And at the same time, I did want to go for a workout and just do something different, and turned out that was a little bit harder than I expected to be. So that's basically my deliberations from going out there. It was too cold to tell. If I had either, I think I would need neoprene, I don't know how to pronounce it, neoprene socks or shoes, whatever they are, and then also one for my head to keep that warm. I think my hands, I could have got by with that, but it would also be nice to have like hands flippers or whatever it was, just to keep that a little bit warm as well. So if I ever do that again, I know I do need that for sure for my feet, my head, and then hands optional, but probably recommended. But yeah, that's pretty much how it went. I'm kind of upset at myself. I think I went in with too high of expectations, thinking it was going to be really easy and it's going to be like mind over matter type of deal. And I'm sure that did take a part in it. And if I did have a stronger mindset, I could have maybe lasted a couple minutes more. But I don't think I could have been anywhere close to what I originally thought, which was 45 minutes. I think I just went in with way too high of expectations, because I'm pretty sure from what he said, it was 7 degrees Celsius, which is about 45 Fahrenheit for the water temperature. And I thought it was just going to be like a cold plunge. Turned out it was not just going to be like a cold plunge. It seemed like the more I kicked, the colder my feet would get, and I figured it would be the opposite, where blood would be flowing there, it would warm up. So learned my lesson. That's the best way to learn, in my opinion, is by actually doing, not by hearing someone else. I guess that is a good way to learn from other people, but at the same time, I now know that, so I'm not going to make that same mistake again. And if I ever do want to do this again, I obviously know that I need something for my feet, hands, and head. So that's pretty much how it went. Not to the exact extent that I wanted it to, but that's how it goes. We live and we learn. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.